you can't find a really much bigger provider in the sports betting space right now than Sportradar. We are very pleased to be joined by a good friend of SVG, Per von Rosen. He is product director, broadcast solutions for Sportradar. Per, we really appreciate you taking the time. No, there's never really not a busy time in sports, but this is an especially busy one. So thanks a lot for taking a few minutes for us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Brandon. Interesting format, interesting times. So, this will be fun to do this for sure.
Yeah. So, if anyone is even moderately paying attention to the sports betting space, they know who Sportradar is. It's hard to go a few weeks without seeing you guys striking another big partnership. You're essentially partnered up with every major broadcaster here in the United States. But for those who maybe don't totally understand what Sportradar is or what you guys are all about, give us a little bit of the lay of land of who is Sportradar and how have you guys become such a big player in the sports betting space, especially here in the United States.
No, of course. So founded in 2001, we just went through our 20th anniversary as a company. Founded, back on the continent where I was born and raised in Europe, growing out of the betting industry there, which is huge. Betting back home is I don't know, it's what we do when we watch sports, a lot of us. So coming out of that, having that as a backbone as a company, that's where we started building out pretty much software, data feeds, infrastructure for sports books. And what naturally came out of that was for him in the United States to grow into the media business, because media business in the United States is the media business in the world. Like, this is where it's at. So coming into that and combining the two, it's where we really built our foundation in the United States. That's really what we sit in the middle of it. We sit with the sports book, we sit with the media, and we combine the two. And we come up with really nice, solutions to be able to just educate people, enable people to understand sports betting and sports and how they two fit together.
So take us through a bit of the timeline of maybe the past handful of years, at least since sports betting has been possible to be legal. Obviously, we're going state by state here, and we're currently still in the process of that playing out in terms of the legality of sports betting in various states, whether it's on site or mobile or whatever it may be. But in terms of the United States finally coming onto the scene as a place where sports betting could happen at scale, how did Sportradar as a company inject itself into the marketplace, and how have you established yourself with so many outlets as kind of the data provider to go to?
Yeah, it's been quite a ride. I came on board Sportradar, I think it's 5 years from now, 5 years ago, with the goal to create a broadcast business. That was what we wanted to do, and that's what we wanted to achieve. And back then, when I came on board, sports betting was not legal. Mm-hmm. We knew that it possibly could become legal, so we had a plan A and a plan B. And very luckily for me, sports betting became legal. So, we could go with that plan A because that's what we thought all along. And it was really, how do we now start with broadcasters and how do we now start helping them to get sports betting into their content, and what will they want to do? So for us, it was very natural. Step number one is odds, and just help them with the integration with different sports books, because the second that the networks and broadcasters started to think about sports betting, they think about advertisement money, they think about companionships with sports books, and we pretty much supported them in that, saying, look, we have odds from all of these sports books, so you go and do whatever you need to do, and we'll make sure from a technology and from a data feed point of view, you're covered with Sportradar, which I think created a very nice comfort zone for them to just go and do this. They didn't have to worry about how do we get the odds on air, because I think in a lot of people's minds, it's like, oh, we're going to have a person sitting there just crunching in odds to showcase it on air. Like, that's what we're going to do. And we said, look, come over here to Sportradar. We know what we're doing. We know broadcast, and we know sports betting. So we can get this done for you and automate it. And it will just make it much nicer for you to get there. So we really got there really quick. And I think for a lot of you out there that are watching this, if you've had a conversation around sports betting and broadcast, you most likely discussed it with me at some point, because we have assisted pretty much every single betting focused broadcast that has been put on air to this date, with all different partners.
Yeah. Well, since it's right in your wheelhouse, I would love to talk to you about the live game specifically. I mean, there a lot of has been made in the States now in terms of the mobile experience. And we're hearing even just today, a lot of examples of studio-based programming and social programming. But I'm interested in your take on where we're at right now in betting odds and betting content actually being injected into the live game broadcast. I mean, on occasion, you will see over-unders and spreads, very, very basic entry-level stuff on live game broadcasts. You might have entire alternate betting broadcasts that are very focused on that. Still, obviously, in the very, very toddler days of this in the United States. So what is your assessment of where we at in terms of this kind of content being injected into the live game broadcast? And what are we on the cusp of here?
Right. Very good question. So as I said, phase one for a lot of the networks was just getting odds on air, showing it, getting people used to it, getting people at home used to it. It was a big deal first time we did it, and people were a little bit hesitant to it. I think leagues were a little bit hesitant around it too. But now we're doing it. So that was phase number one. And there's still some networks that are in phase one. They're still looking into, they might be in a state where it's not really, there yet. They don't have the full legislation around it. So they don't know what they can or cannot do. But the networks that was out ahead of this and really were the first ones in, they're now looking to go into phase two, which I believe is getting more sports betting content and storylines integrated into their shows. And if you watch the alternate broadcasts that we've seen, like Betcast and things like that, you have the talking heads that are talking constantly about the odds, what is influencing the odds, why are these odds good for you at home? So I think that's really the next step where we need to step up and not 100% be dependent on talking heads and opinions, because that's something that is really big back home in Sweden when we place bets, is that we get this research more automated. We're not necessarily depending on an expert telling us things. We want the raw data behind it. We don't want this. So what we're doing now is that we have a couple of products. We have Radar 360, our analytics platform, where we have betting data, where you can actually go in and see when was the last time team A was a favorite at home versus team B. How many points did they score in the second half? Or how many touchdowns did this player catch in that game? What were the odds at that time? So we can automate them to see what are the odds for this game? Is this favorable or no? And that's where we have our insights engine that we spun out of this 360 engine, where the insights will actually spit out and tell you that look, this guy is at X touchdown over under. This is favorable because last time he actually caught 2 touchdowns against this team or against this type of defense. So that's really where we're landing now. It's getting more of this in front of audience and getting it on networks, getting it in front of the experts and talents. Because again, I think they still play a really important role, but they should play more of an important role that they can do more than just being a marketing tool. They can tell the data-driven storyline based on betting. And that will really assist for us at home. Because us at home, what is it that we want? I want to know which bet should I place, because I'll have a hunch. I should place a bet for team A and then I just want that sort of, I don't know the word in English, but it's inritat i kistan. So like nailed into the coffin, sort of,
Okay.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
You want that validation. Yeah, you want something to hang your hat on, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, I know you guys have a video that shows off some of the things that you've been working on lately. So let's take a look at that right now.
Sportradar insights hit on a number of KPIs for devices and platforms looking to stand out with a differentiated experience in an extremely competitive sports landscape. Tune-in is critically important to attract an audience to your platform. During pregame, surfacing which games have the potential to be most interesting helps build anticipation and engagement when it comes time for a game to start. In-game, we identify the moments that we know users will want to interact with. Insights provide an automated solution with relevancy factors that can be used to personalize those moments and surface the ones that fans are most likely to engage with based on their viewer profile. Gamification and interactivity deliver deeper engagement, and Sportradar provides the tools to bring it to life. Core data and insights can power the end-to-end automation of free-to-play experiences, from the basic questions such as which team will win, to the most complex like will player X set a career high, or will player Y score more or less than 24 points. For platforms looking to create an additional revenue stream by taking bets on real-life markets, Sportradar has all the building blocks needed. We offer live odds feeds across all of the big sports books and betting information that helps users make informed decisions, allowing you to bring the facilitation of bets all within an OTT platform or second screen experience. For storytellers and content creators such as social media teams, writers, and marketing professionals, Sportradar has a user interface that surfaces the same detailed information, but through a dynamic front end. This allows easy-to-use access to the same rich nuggets of information without the need of engineers. Insights make Sportradar's existing pregame note service even richer and automate the delivery of in-game broadcast graphics, saving crucial time and resources during the production of a live game. If you need further assistance, Sportradar has a research desk that provides white glove service to support all your storytelling needs throughout the entire life cycle of your event. Sportradar has a platform that allows you to easily work with a robust sports database of historical and live data to create your own insights to be used on your platform.
Well, that's very cool. A lot of fun stuff. It's really interesting seeing all this stuff get injected into the live broadcast. And I'm sure, and as we've heard on a lot of sessions here so far in the show today, there's a lot of excitement around the potential that will come with in-game betting, which is obviously, we know, very huge over in Europe. And who knows if we'll ever get to that point here in the United States. But, it'll be interesting to see how a lot of that data changes and how the experience of betting changes from, oh, I just made my over-under bet before the game versus actually making bets throughout the course of the game. That's one thing that I know a lot of people on this show have been excited about so far. When you look at the immediate future as it pertains to the United States, what's some of the things that you guys are working on, or maybe something new that you got coming down the line, or maybe it's just a development in the industry? What's exciting you about the immediate future of sports betting in the US?
So something that has me really excited is our new OTT product, mbet, which is just what you said. It's a streaming application that seamlessly integrates into anyone's OTT platform, which actually allows you to place bets. And it also has a whole, again, we're talking about, we're connected with sports books, we're connected with media companies. So we have all this data also streaming through this application. So this is really the next step, and that would be phase 3. If I said we used to be in phase 1, I think we're now on the cusp of getting into phase 2, and phase 2 will develop. We're already looking into phase 3, which is, as you said, in-game interactivity, enable betting, educate the fan, and then tell, here's where you can place that bet. So that's really what mbet does, which, it's huge. And I mean, even, we talked about Europe and that being a mature market. This is new even there. So, I mean, even from my Swedish heart, I'm excited because I'm excited for my friends and family back home that, we always wanted to do this. A story was literally when I started working as a graphics operator, that's my background, in Sweden, I would actually sit there and hand chop odds for a graphics, and we would come on air. And my friends would always ask, like, why can't I just go into Svenska Spel, which is the Swedish sports book, and place the bet? And I'm like, well, you have to go on the website, yada, yada. This now solves for that problem, which is just amazing to me. So very excited about that.
Well, mbet sounds really cool. Let's take a look at some of that right now.